What's up, YouTube family? We are back again. So I have another one. I have a video that I would like to react to. The title of this video is A lot of us were raised by women who hate men. And this is coming from a lady, which makes it very interesting. So without wasting our time, let's dive right in the video. Let's go.
A lot of us were raised by women who hate men. Women who had so much unresolved pain, bitterness, and trauma that they passed that hatred down. Nobody wanted to talk about it because it disrupts the narrative that women can do no wrong.
Not only that, it also requires women to look at themselves in the mirror, which is perhaps the toughest thing to do as a human being. But if you want to become a better person, if you want to improve and heal, it is necessary. So the ball is in your court. Let's go.
Honest. How many of y'all grew up hearing, don't depend on no man, all men are dogs, don't let no man play with you, men only want one thing, but not once did they tell you how to choose a good man. Not once did they tell you how to communicate with a man. Not once did they tell you that not all men are your enemy. The wild part about it?
Yeah, that's because they don't have those qualities. The only qualities they have is the qualities that allow them to avoid men completely. You know, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. But I know one thing for sure. Look, if you have a teacher, for instance, right, that can teach you how to avoid conflict or danger, it's a good thing. But if this is all he knows, if all that teacher knows is to teach you how to avoid conflict or danger, you are in bad hands, because one day will come where you'll have to face danger or conflict. You would, no matter how much you can run, how far you can run, how good you can run, one day you will have to face it. And if you did not have a teacher teaching you how to deal with conflict, good luck. You know, you guys can play the avoid men game for as long as you want, but one day would hold you accountable. You can only play that game for so long, you know. So hopefully when that day comes, you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of yourself. I really hope so. We will see. Let's go.
Most of those women wasn't healing. They was projecting. They was recruiting you into their war against men that they started, that they lost, and that they never recovered from. Now whole generations of women is out here fighting battles that they never experienced, blaming men they never even met, getting into relationships already angry at somebody who isn't even in the room.
Yes, you know, the worst thing you could ever do to a human being is to convince them that they are a slave to a master who does not exist. That's the worst type of slave you'll ever create, you know. But, you know, men, I think we feel betrayed. Yeah, we feel betrayed by our mothers because you guys raised us. We all came from you. And you promised us that the way you raised us, that you raised us to be good enough for your daughters, and then you turned around and convinced your daughters not to deal with us. Look, if we are the people that you describe, if we are really that bad, perhaps your daughters are probably the only hope we have to hold on to become better people, and you are disrupting that change. So we feel tremendously betrayed by you guys. And that betrayal is really painful, not even because of the actions you've taken, but because of the face that the betrayal is carrying. It's a very familiar face, and perhaps the most important face of life. That's why it's painful. I never used to believe in the end of the world. I used to hear it. Oh, the world is gonna end in a catastrophic way. Apocalypse, shit like that. I never really used to believe it, because I would look at men and women and see that union and be like, this is such a strong energy that I don't think that something will be able to disrupt it. For instance, men used to be unhinged, men used to be crazy. And through their actions, it will sometimes bring the world almost to an end. And women, through their femininity, through being women, were able to recalibrate those men. But nowadays, the women have joined men into doing what men do. So I don't know who's going to save us now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm inclined to believe in the end of the world after all. And I hope it's the devil's plan, because that's defeatable. But if it's God's plan, I don't know. Good luck. Anyways, let's talk about this video in the comments. Please subscribe to my channel. Like the video. I really appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.